What's up guys, it's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Buildit video. Today we're going to be doing a Contest Mayor's walkthrough. This one will have the latest feature available, which is the Contest Mayor streaks. Somebody in my training course did really well this week. I usually go through all of their choices based on their screenshots and share it with you guys on what they did right, what they did wrong, and to kind of give you guys a lesson as to how this all works on how you should be picking your assignments. Note that these players are camping, and they are usually between the levels of 20 and 24. They do not, you do not do the same technique when you are a high level player. This is for low level players, players between levels 11 and 30 who do not have, well actually 29, who do not have regional maps unlocked. Okay, so if you fall into that category, then you would play the same way that they would play as long as you are in the Mega League. Do not waste your limited assignments in any other league besides Mega. You should also pick up a copy of the latest Contest Mayor's guide, which tells you all the information that you need to know about each task, such as algorithm, opportunity, and basically, again, what you need to know about each task, value, possibility, everything. Okay, so first thing that we always begin with, and some of you guys may already know this if you've seen a few of my Contest Mayor's videos, and that is setting the scene. Because we're doing somebody else's list, we need to know what we're dealing with here. So she is level 24, and you guys probably can't see it very well on your screen, but she does not have any more experience remaining. So if she was to level up, or if she was to do a house upgrade of any kind, she would go to level 25, which she cannot do. Okay, that being said, the next thing is time remaining. 5 days, 4 hours, meaning the contest has just started. She has 60 tasks, which means she's in Mega. And that is basically that concludes your setting the scene. So now we know that because she's a level 24 player, we know she has 40 factory slots available to utilize. We know that she has gold tokens unlocked. And we know that she's in my group. Okay, so I know that she's able to do her war assignments because we run war alongside the Contest of Mayors so people can do their assignments. So the very first one is the streaks task. That is a coin task. Now this is what we call a task assessment and a task breakdown. Task assessment is where we go through and we say what we know about each task, kind of get things organized around our game, and then we mark them rotatable, main, no touch. That is part of the breakdown. Task breakdown is where you label them on the right hand side of your list. Rotatable is the tasks that you do when all of your main tasks are gone or unable to be done. Okay, so anything above 2,000 points is considered to be a main task. Anything below 2,000 points that is considered to be a rotatable task, you would mark with an R. Anything that is something you would never touch, like let's say monster below 2,000 points, you would never touch, so you mark that no touch. Any upgrades would be marked no touch. Any of them that fall into the category of being able to be canceled would be marked with a C. Anything that is 2,000 points or higher on the upgrades would be marked with a NT/C, unless it's Latin or Old Townhome. And in that case, if those are at 2,400 or below, we usually just mark them no touch. Typically, you try to avoid canceling those because the VP, value possibility, is so much higher on those than it is the others. So you run a risk of it coming back worth higher than the others, which would be even more problematic. Okay, so starting off, we have war deliveries for 3,000. That is a main task, meaning it sits over 2,000 points. It is the first obvious choice as it is the highest valued in the list, brings great opportunity, it's a premium task, it's a limited task, which means it can only be done during war, or if the monster's available. So that bumps that priority up just a little bit higher because, you know, it is on a time limit. Okay, that would be her first task. So should we just go ahead and start and get that done and then look at our list? No. We need to look at the rest of our list first, just to make sure that we know what we're doing. Okay, the next one is a expand mountain. This is a limited task. All of these should be saved for Mega. You should not be unlocking any mountain or beach at the beginning of the game. You should just save them all up so that when you get to Mega, you have these options here. These tasks are always 2,500 points, always. Okay, so they are non-premium, but they're excellent ways to boost your average up. You're probably going to get these quite a bit until you max them out. Once you max them out, you will no longer receive these tasks. So that being said, try to use them to boost your score up in Mega. Okay, that would mean that this is a main task because it sits over 2,000 points, and it would be our next obvious choice. The next task is a repair disaster for 5. Now this one is 2,000 points. It is non-premium. The VP on it is 2,400. If this task is at 2,000 points or higher, it is considered to be a main task. Now, if it was at 1,600, we would mark it with an R. And if it was at 1,200, we would mark it with an R, but it would not be rotatable until the third phase of Rules of Rotation, which is when you hit tickets, where value trumps op. Because it's at its lowest value, and it's almost always in your list, you don't want it to circle back around when it will circle back around. If you're doing it at 1,200 points, basically you're just wasting a task, because eventually it's going to circle back around for that 1,200 points. You'll be looking at the same problem that you were looking at before, and ultimately you achieved nothing. You didn't open up any better possibilities and all that good stuff. So if it's at 1,600, it would be rotated, relatively soon, whenever, the right choice comes in. Now that it's at 2,000, the rotation on it is higher. So we would do it sooner. It is a main task. So that would be our next obvious choice. Moving down the list, we have a delivery to Paris for 1,600. This has a VP of 2,400, whereas the other airports have a VP of 3,000. So this one is definitely a rotatable task and a good option for when our main tasks are gone, saying nothing else better comes in the meantime. Now we have a paint task. This is rotatable. It is a premium task, and this particular task is not limited time, but it does have a cooldown of whatever the amount of time it is to make it. If you started making it, great. If not, then I would start cycling these into your prep one at a time. Okay, so make a paint, collect one of whatever it is you made before that. For those of you who are unsure of how to do your CoM prep, I have videos on all that stuff, and they are really worth watching. Okay, so type in Contest of Mayor's prep for low-level players. Okay, the next thing is the glass. Now, we know that she has 40 factory slots. This is of a low value, so we would only prep this before bedtime if we had nothing else in our list that was higher at the time of going to bed. So as of right now, that's our plan for bedtime. Okay, now she has a no-touch upgrade. This is at 1,000 points, so it's not cancel. We don't cancel 1,000 point upgrades. They're too low. So this would be no touch for the duration of the contest. You can just cross it off, never look at it again. Same with the monster for 1,000. We never touch the monster if it is below 2,000 points, and that would mean that we can cross that off for the duration of the contest as well. The next thing is the design challenge upgrade for 800. That is at its lowest value. It will sit there for the duration of the contest. So right here she has the monster labeled at rotate/no cancel. That is wrong. This is just flat no touch. Okay. There's no circumstance in which you would do this. Even if you were, let's say, on your final ticket, I'm sure there would be something in your list that would be over the 1,000 points that you could do. Now, that would be the only way that you would do like a 1,500 point monster, would be if it was like the last 2 or 3 tickets and it was highest, because it will come back. But, when you're in that many tickets, when you only have a few tickets left, it doesn't really matter if it comes back, because you only have like 2 things left. So, yeah, just mark that no touch. That being said, we know that we can cross off 3 tasks right off the bat, okay, that we're not going to do. We can just erase them from the list altogether. Now we have the common war attack at the bottom for 800. This one has a VP of 2,400, It is a great task to open up possibility, and it should be rotated out before the first war ends. Always. Always try to rotate out your war opportunities especially if you start running low on rotables. Now, if you have a lot of rotatable options and you don't see having to do this before the second war begins, then yes, go ahead. But be very careful about leaving these sit, and then, you end up in a situation where you can't do it because you're on a war cooldown. Okay, that being said, the first choice would be the war deliveries for 3,000. So she goes ahead and she does the war deliveries for 3,000. Okay, now what we're doing with these streaks is, what I have my trainees doing is I have them only doing the streaks if it is the choice they would choose anyways. So that eliminates all risk. Now, when you first do a streak, you don't know what the next task is going to be. If it's an upgrade, then you can't do it and you basically fail the streak. Now, basically how it works is you pick the streak task, you complete it, and then it gives you another one. Okay, you can decide to just go back to working on your list in the meantime. As long as you don't start and cancel that streak and that 24-hour timer doesn't run out, then that particular assignment will be there. You do not have to, do them back to back with each other. Okay? So, but here's the thing. I believe you get 6 streaks in Mega. I'm not sure though. Okay, I think it's 6. Now, the thing is though, you guys, is when you do this, typically what they're doing is, remember when I tell you guys the game always levels itself out? Well, it's kind of the same thing with this. It appears as though they're just giving you guys really low value tasks to make up for the bonus points, right? So even though you can get a nice jump on your average by doing the streaks, it's very risky if you're doing them when you wouldn't do them. So for instance, like if she were to pick coins right now, that's not the choice she would normally pick. So she would be taking a risk, right? So you guys basically only do the ones in the streaks if they're what you would be choosing anyways based on this method. And that way, if you run into an upgrade, you're not out anything because you would have picked that anyways, okay? And then if you do it, if you are able to get through it, then great. Then you're able to get through it and you earn those bonus points and you didn't have to risk anything because it's what you would have done anyways. All right, that being said, chemicals is at no touch. She can erase this off her list. At this value, we would not do it. It typically comes back and usually is not worth very many points. If it were to come back between the 1600 range and like 2200, I think 2000 is right where it maxes out, then and only then would we do it because of the value placement that it's taking up, the value opportunity. Okay, so moving down the list, her highest in value is the mountain task. Let's say that she doesn't have enough money for the mountain items right now. Does that mean she should go ahead and do the repair? No. It means she needs to figure out a way to get the money to get this done. When you guys choose lower tasks when you could do other tasks, it's not a good thing to do. Okay? You start taking less points here, less points there based on what's convenient, and you start really hurting your score. Now, sometimes you will have to work around what's going on in your game. It just depends on the situation. And in this situation, that is not reason enough to take 500 points less. Okay? So, expand mountain is the first obvious choice. That's what she should have done. Okay? So, she does the mountain. She gets the mountain is replaced with a no-touch Latin American home at 2,400 points with a VP of 3,600. Okay? VP means value possibility, what it can possibly be worth. Now what this means is that her next main task, the next one with an M on it, is the repair. It's holding one of her valuable 2K placements, and it should be done right now. That should be her next choice. So she does the repair. Great. And mind you, I have not looked through this yet. Okay? Now, this is a prime example of why we do the mountain first. This is an excellent example. So, had she done the repair first, she would not have got the mountain a second time the way that it panned out here, right? She would have got something else because the mountain would have still been sitting in her list. But in this case, she cleared the mountain first before rotating a lower task, thereby opening up the possibility of getting that task again. Whereas if she would have done it the other way, she wouldn't have had that possibility, right? So, excellent. She does the mountain again, I'm going to assume. Okay, yes. Now, she gets repair again for 2,000, which she should do. And she does. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, okay. I was just making sure it wasn't a double screenshot. Okay, now she gets the 2,000 on the textiles. Now, this is her next obvious choice. However, because it's asking for 50, what this means is she has to do 2 rounds, okay? So what she would do is she would prep the second half first, which means if she can do 40 and 50, what she would probably do, if it was me, is I would do the 20, and then, or split it into, she has to run it 2 times. She could do, 25 and 25, which is what I would do, right? That way, both times she does it, she has some factory slots available to her. But either way, she should prep the second half first. Now, that being said, that means that the first batch, she can prep and work on other tasks. Then she'll have to be idle for 4 hours when she collects the second half and goes for the first half. So what we'll do is we will prep the second half and work on something else in the meantime, because we can't be idle for that long right off the bat. Okay? Now, what other options do we have? We have rotatable, because we have no touch on the chemicals and the upgrade. So right now we have a rotatable Paris, which has a VP of 2,400. It is non-premium. Now we have a paint worth 1,200, which is premium. Okay? But what we need to do is, if we were doing the contest to mayor's math, we would look at the 2 highest values in our list and then compare it with opportunity and then compare value opportunity. Okay? So value opportunity is higher on the repair, or on the Paris, and it's lower on the paint. The value is higher on the Paris and lower on the paint. That being said, the value difference is 400 points. So what we're saying here is that we want to benefit 400 points to have an okay opportunity. Is the opportunity still good versus a little bit better opportunity for 400 points less? So the correct choice here is the delivery to Paris, which she does delivery to Paris. Okay, now she gets a delivery to London, which is 3,000, which she does. And she gets a veggies task for 1,680. Now the 1,680 again is, this is premium. It is a production task, and it's worth 480 points higher than the paint. So obviously veggies would be her next choice unless the textiles are done by now. Okay, now she gets a 2,000 Tokyo delivery. Now this is obviously her next choice because it's 2,000 points and she can get it done right away, right? Okay. Now she's got a 3,000 board delivery, or 2,000 board delivery, which she completes, I'm assuming. Okay. Now she gets a regular residential for 2,400. Now she would mark this NT/C. Okay, no touch / cancel. This one is able to be canceled because the value possibility is 2,400. It's already at its maximum amount. She can't do any, she doesn't have enough room for the experience. So she either has to let it sit and work around it, or she has to cancel it. Now she has a total of 3 2K tasks in her list. We know that she's able to get one of them taken care of with the textiles. Okay, so at this point, she would let this sit, and she would either work on the textiles, saying that the first half was done by now, or she would move down her list and look at her other options. She has paint for 1,200, which she could do, or she has the launch war attack at 800. Now, war shouldn't be anywhere near to over for her to have to take that low of a task. So that's out. It's not bedtime, so glass is obviously out, and she's got, the text prepping. So it comes down to waiting on the textiles and the paint. Now, if it was me, I would have probably waited on the text. But I don't know how long, she was in a cooldown. So I'm not going to mark her wrong for doing the paint. Okay, so she does paint. She gets ladders. She does ladders. And she gets a Tokyo delivery for 3,000 points, which she does. And she's got a 3,000 launch disaster for VU, which is the obvious choice here. Okay. Now she's got a 1920 on planks, which is the obvious choice. She gets a 1460 on cement, which again is the obvious choice, unless she's doing text. Okay, so now she's getting her text done, so now she's got a 4-hour cooldown, and she gets a 1600 on shoes. Okay, so that would be her next choice, would be the shoes. 1760 on the lawn chairs, which is obviously her next choice. Oh boy, what did she do that for? Okay, so I'm gonna mark this wrong for one of two reasons. First off, even if war was ending, she had other rotatable options where she did not need to make that points jump. Okay, that is way too many points to drop. If this was, let's say, a launch legendary for 1200 and war was ending soon, absolutely. If it was a 1000 rare attack, I could even make sense of that and say, yeah, okay, I would see why you would try to get that, factored in. But taking that low of a points jump was not a good choice. Okay, so next time, if it's the 800 one, try to leave that one sit unless you're running really low on rotables. So she gets, of course, the game's going to try to level you out now. So you've got your 3,000 point, war assignment. So thankfully you were able to make back the points. You got 800 on the one, so that's 3,800. No, you didn't quite meet your 2K average even still with taking that 800. You're still 200 points lower than what you would have been had you done 2 2K tasks. But it's okay, so the game levels you out and it gives you an upgrade, which sucks. So now she's probably going to go with the lawn chairs. Okay. Now she gets plastic, which she has... Oh, she completed text. Okay. Then she gets wood for 17, which she does. The 17 on the wood. And now she gets the 1600 common war attack. Okay, I don't know if war's going right now, so if she doesn't do this one, okay, so war was going. So you still had time. You shouldn't have rotated that. Now, that particular task, if you look, is the task that gave you the 2 upgrades, basically. So, that low jump, remember when I tell you guys all the time how the game tries to level you out? Whenever you take a very low task, it usually kicks a high one in return to kind of make up for those points that are lost. When you end up in that situation, sometimes it's a really great thing for low-level players because they're able to get, let's say, a 3K VU or a 3K war delivery or whatever. But what sucks is when you're a low-level player and you do that and it kicks back a high upgrade in return. Now, unfortunately, that's just part of the gambling. There's no way around getting these upgrades. Indefinitely or inevitably, they're going to come in. They're going to be there. There's nothing you can do about it. You just want to try to avoid it as much as possible. But in this case, that cancellation of that war assignment was about the only mistake I've seen so far. Or not cancellation, the doing of that 800 war assignment. So the next choice is obviously going to be the chemicals, but oh no, sorry, that's wrong. So if you look here, she's got 2 2K 2400 tasks, one's Latin, one's regular residential. She's got the upgrade Paris for 3,000, and she's got the Tokyo for 2,000. So a lot of her high valued tasks are here taken up with the upgrades. Now, In this particular instance, normally you would cancel, okay? But because the game has just now started hitting her with these upgrades, I would do one rotation and see if it kicks you another upgrade to see if you can get one in with a lower value since you have so many of a higher value. I would have advised you do the cement just to see if you could get another residential to come in. Now, if she canceled, she would have wanted to cancel do a double cancellation of the 3,000 pointer and the 2,400 regular residential, because that one is the one that can be canceled because it's at its highest values. You're not running a risk of it coming back worth even more points. Okay, so trying to find out where we left off here. So we had metal. Wait. Hold up. Okay. That was the plastic, wood, war attack, 3,000 point. Okay. So she cancels the 3,000 and the 2,400 regular residential. I'm not going to mark that wrong, but I just want you guys to know in the future, if you start getting upgrades, coming in that quickly, like she just got one and then another one popped in, do one rotation to see if it pops up another before you do a cancellation. And in this case, really? It came, yeah, see, that's why I would have done that, because it came right back. Both of them came in and gave her 2 upgrades. So she does the cement, and she gets a 3,000 VU, which is, they're doing that to make up for your 2 cancellations. Okay, now she gets a 1,600 on the Paris, which she does, 3,000 on Tokyo, 3,000 on upgrade war card, 3,000 on delivery to Tokyo, and now she's got a 1,560 on hammers. Okay, so in this case, I would advise that she do the hammers. Normally, I would advise a cancellation, although what we're seeing this week is a lot more 2K place values and 3K place values. So because the game has been giving her high valued tasks and she has all of these 2K tasks sitting, we're going to go ahead and assume that it is not blocking anything, okay? That being said, because it's not blocking anything, we're going to go ahead and say, okay, hang on just a second here. We're going to go ahead and say it's okay to update or to rotate the hammers, okay? That being said, hang on. Okay, sorry about that. Now, we're going to go ahead and say to go with the hammers. What the hell? Okay, so she does the hammers. She gets a launch shield bust, and I don't know if we're in war, but if we are in war, she can go ahead and do that. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to assume that it was her bedtime and she did this to get it out of the way, which would be fine. So she gets the repair 2,000, which she does. She gets a launch VU 2,000. Now, if she's in war, I would have done the war one. I mean, it really depends on the situation. They're both fine. Although, because the VU has come in worth the 2,000, we definitely need to clear it. But that war assignment is a limited assignment. So if she has the ability to do it, I would say that would be a good choice. So, either is good. Alright. That being said, she does the VU. She gets metal, which she does. Okay, so that just basically tells me that she's not in war, which is fine. Okay, so now she gets another upgrade for 2,400. Now, in this case, the game is still allowing her to have a lot more 2K place values than it normally does, being how the game is still allowing her to get good tasks, it doesn't make sense to take the cancellation just yet, especially with the upgrades still rolling in. That being said, looking at her list, it appears as though she could not do the launch war right now. So she went ahead with the coins, which is fine. She can do that. That is a last resort rotatable option. And she gets paint for 1,400. Now, typically, you would rotate in that epic project before you would do the coins. However, under these circumstances, my best guess would be that she didn't really want to open up that doorway for the epic project just yet. It is a limited assignment. It typically comes back in multiples. So when it does that, it usually stays away after it's, come back in multiples, like usually 3 times or whatever. So that being said, epic over coins, typically you do epic first. But taking into consideration that this is a streaks assignment, we're not comparing it to a normal assignment, we can bump the priority up just a little bit on the regard that there is those bonus points available if she can get through it. So that little minute amount of opportunity that the epic provides over the coins, I would cancel out due to the fact that this is a streaks assignment. But comparing the two side by side, she would have went with the epic project. Okay, so that being said, she does the streak assignment for coins. She gets paint, and then she's able to do her 2,000 war attack. She gets a 3,000 delivery, which is good, and she... Okay, 3,000 delivery. What is going on here? She gave me like so many of the same screenshot. Okay, now she gets repair for 2,000. Okay, so at this point, this is a mistake, because the game is still giving her good tasks. She had no reason to cancel right now. If the game is still giving you high valued tasks, there is no reason to cancel. Okay, now my guess is she's trying to open up opportunity, because she doesn't have very many things in her list. She knows she has a lot of upgrades, but you didn't need to take the cancellation right this second, because it was still giving you high valued tasks. It's a pretty good chance that because it's still throwing you upgrades, that you could cancel and get more upgrades. So it's extremely risky. I would have held off on this, given the fact that you're still getting good tasks. So the correct choice would have been the repair. Now, she cancels this, and she gets an 1,800 cargo, which she does the repair, and she gets the wood for 1,530. Now, in this case, she would do the cargo, okay? It's 1,800 points. The points difference and the fact that it typically does not, come back quite often. I mean, it's every now and then it comes in your list usually. The opportunity is better. So, it's okay. It's good. And the fact that there are those extra points, it's holding one of her good place values, I would go with cargo. So she does cargo, and she gets a 3,000 Tokyo delivery. Okay, so she does that, and she gets a 3,600 on the lunch legendary, which is great. Okay, so she does the lunch legendary, I'm assuming. Yep. Okay, now she gets a 2320 on glass. Now, in this case, I don't know what's going on in her game, but I do know that this is going to be a lot of downtime because it's 58 glass. So she would prep the second half of it before bedtime, work on her other assignments now because she still has 20-something assignments, and she's in an active war. You don't want to waste 10 hours of downtime. So that being said, she has one of two options. She can do the wood before she sets down the glass for a couple extra points in the paint, or she can do the paint with the term that the streaks bonus. But in this case, because she knows she's going to have to do the wood inevitably anyways, I would do the wood first. Yeah, see, I would not have done that. I would have done wood first because of the fact you need to get your factories prepped. Now she does seeds, okay, and then she gets repair for 16, and then she gets the bonus points. Okay, so she could have done all that and done the wood first. Now she gets an upgrade on the next one, which at least it's at a low value. So basically that's stuck sitting for 24 hours. Wood would be her next choice. She gets a 2,000 repair, which is great. She gets an 1,880 on textiles. So in this case, she's already doing glass, and glass is worth more than text. She should have already started prepping the glass. It's worth drastically more than text. I don't know what she did in her game, so I'm assuming she prepped glass. Okay, so in this case, she cancels the upgrade. Why? Okay, this was another mistake. Reason being that there are so many, the game is still giving her good tasks. What she should have done is done the epic. She had no reason to cancel those just yet. If the game wasn't giving her high value tasks and these were blocking something, then absolutely she would need to do a double cancellation. But with this new week and the way that it's been going, I don't see any reason to cancel. I mean, it's been giving her really nice tasks, 2,000, 3,000. I mean, she's on a roll. Why screw it up, you know? So that's a mistake. She should not have canceled that. She should have went with that 1,200 epic. Okay, so she does the 1,600 on the repair, and she obviously gets another upgrade because that's what her game's doing to her. For, oh, yay, 3,000. Yeah. So she would have had a phenomenal score had she not canceled the way she did this week. So she's got 2,300 on the glass. She gets a sugar task for 2,040, which is higher than the textiles. Not sure what she prepped, but, you know. Okay, so now she's got 1,880 on text, 2,000 on sugar, and 1,680 on nails. That being said, again, I don't know what she's got prepping, but if she wanted to continue on, she would go with the nails. If she wanted to kind of wait for the stuff to be prepped, sugar would be the obvious choice. So she went with the nails. She got chairs for 14. Now, she does the sugar. Then she does her epic for 2,000. Another, oh wait, no, it's the same. Epic for 2,000. She does seeds for, okay, so she gets seeds for 15. My guess is right when the sugar was done, she did the seeds. Oh no, she canceled again? Damn, man. Alright, so, okay. So, obviously she does cargo. Oh, yay, 3,000 tasks. Okay. What the hell did she do? Did she cancel that? Hold on. 16, 16, 10, 17. Wait, she did it? How did she do it? You mean to tell me you had experience that whole time and you let that sit? Okay, so going back to that, that was a mistake. If you had experience that entire time, you should have done that. Yeah, so that was a mistake as well. Okay, so she gets the 3,000 VU, 3,000 London, and then 3,000 launch VU, and she completes another streak. Yeah, you should have done that. Wait, oh my goodness. Okay. It seems as though this person is really struggling with the upgrades. So let me go ahead and say this really quickly, okay? Typically, the way it works is when you have 4 2K placements taken up that are upgrades, you do a double cancellation. When you have 3 and you get a 3,000 point one, or at any point in time when you get a 3,000 point one, you got to be very careful about when you cancel and when you let it sit. If by letting it sit, you are getting very low tasks with no real benefit, then what you would do is you would cancel the 3,000 point upgrade because it's clearly blocking stuff. If you are still getting high value tasks with those sitting there, you have no reason to cancel. If it's not blocking anything, there's no reason to cancel anything, right? So in this case, she was getting a lot of 3,000 point tasks and a lot of 2,000 point tasks, but for whatever reason, she felt the need to keep canceling, and it really did hurt her score. So she should have not done that. Okay, so now she has a 1600 on the repair, which she completes. Typically, okay, so this is a really good example. In this case, more often than not, you would actually go with the seeds, saying that this was not a streak. So if they were side by side, seeds open up better opportunity than repair, right? So for the 40 whopping points difference, we would go with the seeds. Now, in this circumstance, because it's a streak assignment, that little bit of possibility that she could bank in on some bonus points, it's worth it to do the repair. So she does the repair, and she gets a 2400 Paris delivery, which she does, I'm assuming, and she gets a 2000 donuts, which she does, and then a 1800 cargo, and I don't know why she gave so many screenshots of that. Okay, so she gets another 8000 bonus. So she's basically following the same thing basically what I told everybody to at the beginning of the contest, to do these assignments when you have no other options, you know, like, or when it's the right choice is what I should say. Okay. That being said, typically when it's the right choice to do a low rotatable, most of these streak assignments are going to be low rotatable options like coins and things like that. Typically, what happens is you run out of main options, which usually happens from your list being filled with upgrades. So the more upgrades in your main list, the less likelihood you're going to have them in your streaks list. That being said, because she has so many upgrades, she eliminates the possibility of it coming in, you know, that specific upgrade of coming in the streak. So you have to look at how many upgrades you have available to you and how many are in your list. And then if you see that, like, there's only one left, then you know you have a really good chance of it not coming in on your streaks. Okay, so she's got a 2000 launch, 2000 epic, 1680 on the shovels. These are all her highest valued tasks. And she's got a 1600 Paris, which at this point, you know, she's in her tickets. Value trumps opportunity. So she completed another 8,000 point streak. And she does the glass on that, 2,000. Okay. 1,400. Oh, wait, no. She does the textiles, yes. Okay. Glass, I'm assuming. What's she doing? What's she got going on? Okay, no, she does the, 1560 on the sugar, 3,000 on London, 3,000, hold on, same task. Another 8,000 point bonus streak, and she is at 15 tasks done with a 2160 corn in her streaks list. So she ended with a 183630. She did great. Basically, she only made a couple of mistakes, and other than that, she did really well. So if you guys follow the technique, the Contest of Mayors math technique, as you can see, if you pick the right choice, like 99% of the time, your list keeps you really well, doing really well, like, you know, 2K average or higher. Using those streaks when it is the right time, not just to do them, it makes a huge difference on your score. Okay? All right, you guys, good luck. I'm going to be doing Contest of Mayors math videos probably tomorrow. I ordered a camera, so that'll be coming in the mail, so I can do them on a tripod rather than having to try to hold my phone. So, for those of you guys who are not subscribed to the channel, you should be. We have a Facebook page, SimCity Buildit MissyAnne. You can post any questions or any victories to, you know, winning the contest. Any information that you'd like, you can post there. Any questions. And as far as joining us, we do have a few spaces available, but you have to be an active, strategic player. Okay? So hit me up on Facebook, and we will see if you're right for the group.